check 1 2 1 2.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Hey,
Yes.
mic check 1 2 1 2. Catch us next week.
Conversation
That's our full show.
I'm Veneer.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is For the Creators.
Yes, we're getting good at that.
Yeah, the first time we've actually done it in one go. So
For real. What?
practice makes perfect.
It's taken how many tries?
Like 15,000. Oh yeah, we're on episode 16.
Yeah.
Imagine
Sweet
that.
16. Sweet 16. Oh, we grow so quickly.
We've grown up. Mama, we've made it.
Yeah.
We're legal now.
Yeah, we're
Age of consent.
Yeah.
Episode 16. Can have our little podcast boyfriend now.
Yeah.
Or
Podcast
girlfriend.
cigarettes.
Is that when you can buy cigarettes?
I think so. I don't know if it's at 15 or... You shouldn't buy cigarettes anyway. But yeah.
I actually think it might be older now because if you go into this, it must be over 18. Or 21.
It should be.
Anyway,
we digress.
So, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of For the Creators Spotlight. As you know, every week we have a special guest on, and this week we have the amazing artist manager, tour manager, sound session musician, Eddie Fringpong, who we'll invite to join the conversation in a little bit. But before we get into that, I'm here with Ryan.
Yes, I'm back. Like every week.
Yeah, so what have you been up to this week, mate?
Been chilling. Well, kind of. Went on a little break to Centre Parks. If you listen to last week's episode, you would know that Veneer and I did the Spotlight episode remotely, which was good. It was a good little learning curve.
Yeah, it was actually really good to do it, even though I missed actually sitting down with Ryan and, you know, having our little rapport, going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely a worthwhile session to have.
Yeah, and we know that if we're ever in different
parts of the
locations
world,
or whatever, that we could still do this. So that was really cool. Yeah, and just got up to some good creative time, like not doing the day job. That really helped to connect with like bigger thoughts and stuff. So that was cool. Music, obviously the podcast, writing up some guides on what I do and like my morning routine and stuff.
Oh, dope.
So, yeah, that was cool.
What are you doing that for?
So basically I do this morning walk, and a lot of people on my Instagram ask, what do you do and why do you do it? So
Cool.
the easiest way for me to explain was to write a guide. So
What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to stick it up and make it available.
Dope.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in actually reading that because it's something I'm thinking that I need to do as well, to have like more structure with my morning routine. And when I've listened to like motivational speakers and people who are genuinely like really successful, they all have like a set routine that they stick to in the morning. So
yeah,
interesting.
So I'm just writing down what works for me so far and the benefits it has. So keep an eye out for that.
Well done.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been up to, and obviously music. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm more or less the same. All I've been doing is working, more working. It's literally the same thing every week. Unfortunately, I've missed out on some great opportunities because of work. So I was supposed to attend the Spotify event in Birmingham, and I wasn't able to do that, which I'm kind of slightly depressed about because I feel like it's more opportunities for us to get out there and meet people and network. But this weekend, I'm actually going to Kojo has this this comedy funhouse thing that he does every Friday.
Kojo the comedian.
Kojo the comedian, yes. So I'm going to attend that. And basically, it's like a club night, but it's like a lip sync battle.
Oh, okay.
In the middle of it. So,
Nice.
like, you go up and I think you win £150
Really?
if you're the best lip syncer. So that will be interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. Actually getting out because I haven't really been out. Like
Just been in
clubbing.
work mode.
Yeah, I've just been in work mode, and I find that all work and no play is just as bad as not doing any of it at all, because you kind of start losing your... I feel like I'm starting to lose my personality a bit, or like, can I even dance anymore?
Yeah.
I was asking myself, like, if I go to the club, because obviously I listen to music all the time, but I haven't really like shaken a leg in a very long time.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. So
Good.
yeah.
Good.
But anyway, takes us nicely into the main takeaway from this week's interview?
Yes, so we had a new episode drop today, and that was with Mayday, who's an incredible artist and songwriter and all-round good person. Had the pleasure of sitting down with her and exploring what really makes her tick and what her obsession with lyrics are. And yeah, no, it was really, really good. For me, my main takeaway was, I mean, as a producer and as a songwriter, is to kind of take more care and more attention into the lyrics, because I'm a musician, my ear gravitates to the music, and not as much care goes into the lyrics. So my main takeaway was to take care of that side, because it is the final piece of the puzzle.
For me, one of the main things I took away from it is kind of something that was touched on today whilst I was working. It's this whole thing about we put an age limit or a time limit on how much we're able to achieve. I remember during the conversation she was saying that she remembered talking to someone about the fact that she was a songwriter, and they were saying to her that she's the wrong side of 24.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh my God, that really struck a chord with me, because today I was speaking to like this older gentleman, and he was saying to me, like, don't give up on your dream. Don't put a time limit on it, because sometimes you can have like an age in your head, or I need to have this by the end of next year. But in doing that, you put so much unnecessary pressure on yourself, when ultimately you can achieve anything that you want to if you put your mind to it. So that's what I really took from the conversation. And now she's 34?
Yeah.
And now she's living her dream, when she only really started focusing on it fully focusing on it when she was 25. And sometimes, you know, like even for me now going out there, like when I see all of the young people, like all of these generations, these coming across, and they're so hungry. I'm in my 30s too, and I'm thinking, shit, like, have I missed the boat? So that's what really struck for me, because I am feeling the same way that she was feeling. Now I'm in my 30s, you start thinking about life, and, you know, I should have had this by the time I'm this age, and I should have had that by the time I'm that age. And we put so much pressure on ourselves.
Because of the promises we made ourselves when we're like 15. But I always say this to people, like, if a 15-year-old came in to speak to you right now and said, well, you should have this by now, you should have that by now, what would you say to that 15-year-old? What the hell do you know? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you kind of need to discount that of your own 15-year-olds.
But it's the other thing that came from the conversation as well, and you both mentioned it. It's like, you couldn't be the songwriters that you are today if you didn't have the experiences.
Absolutely.
And that's part of it as well. I feel like the person that I am now is a culmination of all these experiences that I've had, all the different jobs that I've had. So my exposure to different industries and different things allows me to think in a completely different way to someone who's only ever worked in music, for instance.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they can only think within that framework. But for me, because I've been exposed to so many things over time, even though I may be older, I'm wiser.
Yeah, more experienced. And you apply that to your business.
Yeah, because then you look at it from different angles. And it's also the same with you for music production.
Yeah.
Because you're able to look at it from
all those different angles, exactly. So no, it's, you know, trust your own timeline. I guess that's the takeaway.
Yeah, and Colonel Sanders, man, shit, KFC's doing the thing. Like, he did that when he was like in his 70s, I think. Like, so, you know, don't put a time limit on yourself. And it's the same thing that the guy was saying to me, is like, he's at retirement age and a lot of his friends are retired, and they're saying to him, like, why do you keep on doing this? So I'm going to stop doing this when I feel like it.
Yeah.
And right now I still feel like I've got the energy to keep going. So I'm not going to put a time limit and a time frame on myself. So yeah,
good. That's a good takeaway.
My main takeaway.
Good, I love that.
Because it really resonated with me. So
I love
that. So brings us nicely into introducing our guest of the week.
Guest of the week.
Drum
Eddie Frimpong.
Eddie Frimpong. I'll let Eddie introduce himself and tell you a little bit more about what he does. So, Eddie, who are you?
What I do, who am I? Who am I? Yes, my name's Eddie, obviously. Eddie Frimpong Edwards, named after my dad, but I prefer Eddie.
Okay.
Yeah, so what do I do? That question, you know, it gets me so much, because not that I do everything, but it's just more or less to narrow it down to, okay, but do you like doing this? Do you like doing that? But hands down, playing drums first. I
Okay.
love playing drums. Started at the age, let's say 5 or 6. Took it more seriously at the end of year 7. So I was playing in church. No, before then what was I doing? Playing at home, just like anything I could find.
Just put some
Yeah,
hands.
literally. You hear that story, like, oh yeah, but everyone does that. No, it's the truth. Trust me. You find anything, pillowcases.
Pillowcases.
Listen. Pencils. It wasn't even. I didn't have sticks, so I had pens, pencils around the house, felt tips. My older sister, she's a drawer in it, so she loves to draw. She's an artist, as you say, whatever. So I'll steal her stuff. Combs. I'm seeing a brush right there. I think something like that.
Yeah.
That I had in my hands. So pillowcases, like I said.
Was it just like an urge
Yeah,
to
it's
just bang
like,
stuff?
just to, I hear something on TV, an advert. I'm like, oh, I like this song,
Like
or
the rhythm of it.
rhythm. Just
Yeah.
copy it with anything I find. So, like I said, pillowcases, the sofa, yeah, pretty much everything,
Yeah.
man. And then went to year 7. My mum saw, okay, music's my thing, so let me get this guy into like a music academy to learn how to read music and just play within a band setting. So I done that for a bit, went up to grade, I think 3 or 4. Can't remember where I finished. I didn't continue reading, which is bad. I'm going to get back onto it. I should be able to read. Yeah, church. Church is like the main thing for me, starting out playing drums and stuff. So yeah, there was one time. What happened? So there's 2 services. There's a main service and there's a youth service. And for the youth service, there was no drummer. And my mum was like, give me the eyes, like, yo, jump on now. I'm like, this is your time. This is your time. She's like, yo, like, jump on. I'm like, Mum, I can't play. Like, literally after the main service, I'll just go to the drums and just mess about. But she saw it as like, no, it's something serious. So you're going to take it serious whether you like it or not. She's like, no, go and play. So I was frightened. I went on the stage, picked up the sticks, and it was a good service.
Yeah.
It was a good service.
So what, did you improv or did you already know the...
But to be
the
fair,
songs
like
and stuff?
if you're going in week in, week out, going to church on a
rhythm.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
Friday, Sunday, like you know what they're gonna sing, you know the rhythms, you know pretty much everything. It's just infused into you by force. So it's like it was just kind of natural. My feet were barely touching the pedals, but I was like trying to adjust
just
myself.
imagine you.
Like, it was mad. It was mad.
That's really cool.
So yeah, started off doing that. Then professionally, I would say it's been about 6-7 years in the industry, playing as a session musician, live for artists, and yeah, just taking it seriously.
Any
going around
well-known artist that we may know?
I hate to name drop, but I think the biggest artist I've played for is a guy called Martin Garrix. He's a DJ.
Yeah, I've
So-
heard of Martin Garrix.
He's a young
Worldwide
lad. Well, yeah.
EDM sensation.
So that's probably the biggest thing I've done to date. We done the EMAs 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where was it?
It was in Rotterdam.
Nice.
Yeah, last year I was in London, but didn't do that. But
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool. Now it's like, yeah, it was. I think at that time I've done enough sessions to be confident, comfortable, and just not to have too much nerves.
Yeah.
Because I think the biggest challenge for me was coming onto the scene. So this was 2013, 14. And I got told, yo, bro, can you cover for me for this gig? No information about it until probably 2-3 days before. She's like, yeah, we're going to fly you to Malta to play MTV. I love MTV, which is in Malta that they do every year, festival season. And I'm coming from church. I'm coming to playing to, 50 people a week.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Doing like
just
Shoreditch
thrown
gigs.
into the deep end.
So I think after that kind of shaped me, like anything's possible. So being on that stage on the EMAs, I was nervous, don't get me wrong, but it was just a breeze.
But do you think that's
Coming from
something
that.
that you developed from that time when your mum just threw you in at the deep end?
Yeah.
That
Because
too as
sometimes
well.
you build, because a lot of the things that we build up within ourselves, characteristics are built before we even get to the age of 7. And because your mum did that, it's almost like, because like you've already experienced what that fear felt like. So then it was easy for you to throw yourself into, because most people would have said no. To go from 50 people to then play for MTV,
Yeah, it
the
was- it
average
was mad.
person
It was
probably
mad.
would have said no. But because you had that experience of just being thrown in at the deep end, like
That
that
too,
was
and
sink or
obviously-
swim.
That too, obviously, and trust from my friend as well, that kind of called me because
Yeah.
we grew up in the same environment, going to church and stuff like that. So getting thrown into the deep end for even different church services, it's just natural.
Mm.
You just pick up the songs, learn it beforehand, and come in and deliver. So, like you said, my mum throwing me in the deep end and stuff like that. Yeah, it does play a big impact, but then that's within church. If you're getting taken out of church now to do a professional job, fair enough, you can take a few factors from learning songs last minute and just being professional, but yeah, it's a whole new mindset.
Yeah,
so how does
absolutely.
it work in the build up to? So, for example, you got the call for Martin Garrix. So, how much notice were you given, and then what
With-
do you get given? Because
with that-
I can only think because was it as a drummer?
Yeah, to play
Do you
drums.
then have to isolate the drumming beats from the rest of the song to then be able to how do you like? Because for me, I hear the full song, but I don't think of all the components of the songs. How do you
well-
isolate from a fully made track what you're supposed to contribute to this?
That's when the MD, music director, comes into place. He puts the band together. He arranges how the way the artist will see it or wants to hear it. He will work with him. Okay, I want this, I want that, and then we'll come back to the band and not necessarily teach parts, but then, yo, can you do it like this, or let's skip this chorus, or let's skip this verse. So the structure is kind of made already before we go into the live performance. 'Cause that's what happens during rehearsals. So
Did you have much rehearsal time?
we had, it was like a production run. So he was, or a press run, as they would call it, because he came into the UK to do like a live lounge, a few sessions, recorded, and then the EMA. So it kind of just built up.
I see.
It kind of built up to a point that we knew at the end of it, the last show would be the EMA. So we had to put the production together beforehand, and yeah, it was cool. It wasn't too much to learn. It was just 2 songs we were playing, and what put pressure on me was because he was featuring an artist at that time that he had a big record with, so BB Rexa.
Yes.
So working with him, he's cool. He's just very friendly. He's very like energetic. And then you got BB, so it's like we're working for Martin, and we're not really working for BB, but she's just there at the corner. And she's like, "You're gonna talk to us? She's gonna talk to us, or is she gonna just be in her own kind of vibe?" So that for me, when someone doesn't interact with me, it puts like
pressure.
not pressure, but then it's like, am I playing right? Am I doing the thing?
Right,
Yeah, do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
You
just
don't know
leaves you
what
in
good
your head.
looks like for them. Yeah.
But I guess you'll get that with every artist you work with. It's not really a relationship thing as a friendship thing. It's just more or less business. Just do your work and you go. Don't expect them to be, oh yeah, so what's your name? Some people are like that, some people I'm not.
Of course, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but other
Do you
than that,
genuinely get artists that don't even ask your name?
if I'm very honest, I haven't worked with an artist like that.
Okay.
So I was surprised when BB was like, yo, yeah, so you guys sound amazing. I was like, thank you. I feel very, very good now.
Yeah.
So not everyone is like that, I'm guessing. But I haven't really come across a person. I don't want to anyway.
And how is it gelling with the other musicians? Because obviously you're just one aspect of it. So you've been thrown into the deep end. It kind of goes back to what you guys were saying in the interview with Mayday about going into a session, like
Yeah.
a writing session.
Yeah.
And then you're just thrown into the deep end. You don't even know if you're going to gel with this person or
Yep.
not. So how is it for you? Like, you've been given this assignment. Now you come in, you've met Ryan, you met me. You've never worked with us before, but then suddenly you have to produce something that you're going to go and play live to an audience. So how do you kind of navigate that situation?
So with that, lucky enough, like I said, working with certain people, I know I get the question you're asking me, but it's just more or less the people that you're put with. They're like in the same position you are in. So everyone's come to bring their A game. No one's
Right.
like there's no egos. There's no like arrogance and stuff like that. And
It's more of a team.
There's more of a team effort as well.
effort,
Everyone
yeah.
just wants to get it right and wants to
Yeah.
sound amazing and great because we're going to be playing in front of X amount of people. So it's on us if it sounds bad. It just takes one person to be out of tune or me to miss the click and it's game over.
Right.
But everyone's always like on 100. And meeting those musicians as well, you already know about them.
Yeah.
Not necessarily me, but when you walk in, it's like, oh yeah, you paid for blah, 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 you paid for blah, blah, blah. So
It's a small world.
it is a small world. So it's more or less everyone's just going to be on the A game because they do it full time and professionally and always on point. So I've got to bring that same
Yeah.
vibe as well.
I think maybe the difference between that situation and a situation of going into a recording session is when you go into a studio session, there's nothing there.
There's nothing. You're starting from
So
scratch.
you're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
But obviously, when you're going into rehearsals, the song's there. So you've got a mutual goal to reach as a band. It's like, we just need to make this sound sick and sicker than it does on the record, maybe. You know, so you got that mutual task. So
Yeah, he was happy. The artist was happy. That's the main thing for me. As long as the artist is happy,
yeah,
and the MD that called me, then we're cool.
yeah. And I suppose it's about trusting that call as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got the call for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess obviously you're going to be ushered into something that you're not used to, like playing in front of thousands of people, but you got the call for a reason, right?
Yeah. It's more or less just being around and being recommended, because once you put on a great performance or just having a great attitude towards certain things, yeah, people recognize that and yeah, I think Ed will be good, or I think James will be good for this, or I think whoever will be good, because not necessarily they're playing, but just the attitude they have towards the projects that they've been called for. So
yeah,
that's the main thing.
Distinction, because attitude is everything.
Yeah, 100%.
In this, I believe. We'll expand a bit more later on what else you do, because drumming is not the only thing that Eddie does. We're going to go into what the most creative thing we have seen this week.
What's the most creative thing you've seen?
Me, Nazir's, Nas's new album.
Oh, I haven't listened to it
Yeah,
yet.
Nas's new album. It dropped. It was supposed to drop on Friday. It dropped on Saturday morning, and I was driving up to a wedding and just had that on repeat, basically. It's Kanye West produced, and no, it's really good. Like, Nas always drops knowledge, so it was cool to hear that again. So that was good. Also, again, our phantom guest Beyonce.
I was going to ask you, like,
She dropped. Well, her and Jay-Z.
have you listened to it?
I've listened to a couple. No, I've listened to a few of the records, but I saw their music video that came out. That
was sick. Yeah,
very sick. So I would say between those two as the most creative thing that I've seen this week.
Yeah, I think for me, it's digging through Instagram. I've seen so many creative things that it's just blown my mind. One of the ones that stood out for me was the one that I put up yesterday on our profile, and it was where did you see the one with the cup?
The cup, yes.
That was so
the coffee
dope.
cup.
Yeah, the coffee cup, because literally on the coffee cup, she drawn or illustrated the street that she was on. So the coffee cup was showing her drawing on the coffee cup.
Yeah, it was mad.
It's crazy.
I had to think about that for a second. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
you'd have to check out our
look
Instagram.
it on our Instagram profile, but basically she's drawing this coffee cup. She's drawing on the coffee cup, but then the coffee cup is depicting where she's sitting, drawing on it. So then there's someone else's hand twirling the cup until it comes around to her sitting there drawing it.
You've got to send that to me.
Yeah.
It's on our Instagram profile. You can check it out. It's pretty dope.
At For The Creators Podcast on all socials.
And then the other one, I think, which kind of threw Ryan, because I didn't even see it from that perspective, is when there were two Nike shoes, Nike trainers, and I think because obviously I knew what the artist's work was, so I never looked at it that way. So when I saw the two, it was just more for me to figure out which one was drawn or illustrated, rather than to figure out if one was a fake and if one was actually real.
Yeah.
But most people took the view that
threw
you
me.
took.
It really threw me because you posted it after last week's episode, which was with Wale Adeyemi, fashion designer, and in that episode we spoke about being bootleg.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true.
So I saw it from that perspective, and it said which one is real and which one is fake on the caption. So I'm like, okay, which one's genuine? So when they showed number 2, and it looked a bit more, I don't know, a bit more worn. I was like, yeah, number 2 is the bootleg. And it wasn't until the end of the video that you see that it's a drawing. It's not even physical. Like, it's not even a 3D thing. And literally, my jaw was like on the floor. So yeah,
it was really interesting though, because there's just so much creativity on Instagram and different people's take on things. There was even another one where it started off with the illustration, and then the model jumps into the pool. Well, what looks like a female, she jumps into the pool and then she becomes real and then comes back out the water. Didn't you see that one?
no.
So it starts off as just like
You
a
know, got
stick,
some
like a stick
different
woman.
socials. I need to jump on that.
Yeah,
literally,
you need to
like,
follow it. Trust me,
we
man.
put like some crazy stuff on it. So it's like a stick figure,
Different.
and she starts off walking like the thing starts off walking as a stick figure, then it jumps into what looks like an illustrated pool, but then it becomes like a real looking pool, and she
Is it
swims
camera tricks or
underneath
something? It's
it,
just-
and then it's just all, I think it's all done on Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop.
Nice.
But she jumps into the water and then she becomes real. It's almost like the mermaid story, but opposite way. But she jumps in. So imagine it's just illustrating a stick figure. Jumps in, the body becomes human, and then she comes back out of the pool and it goes back into a stick figure.
Wow.
So
People are
it's just
so creative,
it's just
man.
people's imagination just blows your mind, because
Yeah.
it's like, how do you sit there and even think of this stuff?
And there's that, and there's also where do you get the time to do it just for the sake of being creative?
And most
Which
of
is-
them are doing it
Right.
just for the sake of being creative.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that blows my mind as well. I love that. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's what you should be doing it for. You know what I mean? But,
True.
yeah.
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 Yeah, those are the most creative things I've seen this week, and I've seen a lot, but those ones stood out
Yeah.
for me. And I think that's the joy of it. And, you know, like I said last week, our Instagram is literally an extension of the podcast. It's spotlighting talent, and it could be talent in any capacity. It could be a singer, a dancer, an artist.
It's like the singer you posted
Yeah.
from, what was that? Was it in New York or something? On the
the
subway?
one on the subway. What's her
Singing,
name?
I'm so behind, man.
She was singing PYT, Michael
yeah,
Jackson.
I seen
Yeah.
that one. I
No,
can,
No,
I
sorry,
seen-
she was singing Rock With You.
Yeah, Rock With You.
Yeah.
I seen that one. I can say that.
Dope.
Yeah, so
That is
even
so much.
50 Cent put her on his profile saying
Is
he's
it?
going to sign her
Really?
and put out a track with her because she's amazing. He's posted her a couple times as well.
There you go, man.
So-
There you go.
Where's Walmart
Yeah.
at? Walmart. He's give her a shout as well.
Yeah, there's just so many talented people out there, and I'm just so happy and privileged to be a part of this podcast where we're actually highlighting, you know, people who are out there doing their thing, and
Yeah, man.
it goes back to what Wale said. I think some of these people, it's like what you said with your drumming, Eddie. You just can't control it. It's just you probably still be drumming even if people told you not to drum. Do you know what I mean?
It's even like
just
on the train, I'm just typing on my phone. I'm like, this guy's weird, but
Yeah.
it's just literally my vibe, innit? Leave me be. Leave me be.
Love that.
yeah.
Love
So
that. Is anything coming to mind?
Do you know what? You stole it. It was the Beyonce thing. So
Yeah.
I was watching my friend Snap, and obviously I love live production and stuff like that. So when I saw the screen, like, album out now, blah, 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 I was like, what?
Oh, so you saw the live announcement
Yeah.
of it? Oh, okay. I didn't even see
I
that.
was thinking,
yeah, they did it at the tour.
yeah,
yeah.
they had 2 shows, but they done it on the second day. So I was
Right.
thinking, I didn't hear no build up, I didn't hear no hype, I didn't
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
nothing. And it's a joint album as well, so I'm like, okay. But it's only on Tidal though, I ain't got that.
Well, no, it was only on
I ain't got
Tidal
that.
until Monday.
Wow.
So it dropped on Apple Music, Spotify, all of
I'll
that.
check it out. Even the Nas album, I haven't checked it out. But there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. I need to-
Well, the Nas album's only 7 tracks, so you can
Doesn't
kind of dip in
matter.
and dip
Doesn't
out
matter, man.
real quick.
But I think the Beyonce and Jay-Z one's only 9 tracks, isn't it?
Something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
it's like 9 tracks.
Yeah. But I mean, albums used to be around that length anyway, so
They're getting shorter and shorter. Look at Kanye's.
yeah, they're all 7
Yeah,
tracks.
man.
It's just 7 just so it's not an EP.
Yeah, it's a technical.
Actually, so technically it's
Yeah.
got more than 6 tracks on it. So
Yeah.
it's an album.
It's an album.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, we know that you do a bit more than drumming. Can you explain some of the other areas that you're in?
Cool. So I'll basically stem it off from my last year of university. So I was still drumming crazy
What did you study at uni, by the way?
commercial music performance
Cool.
in the Westminster and Harrow. So it's more like a media and arts campus.
Right.
There's,
Okay.
there's quite a few in London
So
actually.
what did you study within commercial performance?
This it's
It's
gonna
just-
sound so bad, but I can't remember. I can't remember.
How long
I'm
was
not
this course?
3 years. Cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't remember. It
Was it
more
more
or
of the
less-
business side?
No, it wasn't. You know.
Really?
Yeah, I'll get into that in a minute. But it was just more or less performance, obviously, because it is a performance course. Coming from African background, you have to go to university, blah blah blah. So I didn't know what to do. I really didn't know what to do. I was just thinking, it's really not for me, but at the same time, there's that pressure as well. So I'm like, let me just do something that I love doing, playing drums. Let me study performance course. Did I get away with essays and dissertations? No.
Right.
It caught up to me, but
Yeah.
eventually I passed, I graduated and everything.
good.
So like I said, in my last year, I didn't really know what to do because I was getting a lot of work for session work and should I drop out or should I stay on this, do what I have to do? And then I failed because I had so much session work going on. I was like, do you know what? F it. I've made it in my head. I was thinking I'm doing bits. I'm playing for blah blah blah. I'm getting here. I'm getting flowing here. But yeah, like I said, it caught up to me. Then I went back, completed my dissertation, graduated. But within that last year, I had time to think because I only had to do one thing, which is dissertation. I had time to think, and then a module came up to do music business. So I was like, oh, let me just see what this is saying. Let me see what it's about. Studied it. It was a unit. It wasn't like a whole course. It was just like a unit, a module, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I liked it. So within that year, the university sends a lot of emails. Come to this event. Come here. Come there. More time I ignore it because yeah, it's a bit of a awkward uni, a weird one. But there was this one that stood out to me. It was called Ultimate Seminar. So normally they'll invite down people from the industry, from music business, lawyers that come down, people that do music sync. There's a whole lot of people from the industry. So I was like, do you know what? I'm in my last year. I've got free time. I'm not doing much. Dissertation's almost done. Let me just go to this and see what it's saying. And then it was good. On that panel that year, I think we had Dummy from Disturbing London, Stormzy, just Adele's accountant or lawyer, I can't remember. There's a lot of people in that panel, and it was so refreshing to hear so many sides of the industry rather than playing drums behind the artist. Do you know what I mean? I was like, yo, I could probably try to get into this. So at the end of it, I sent out. I went home. I just had a moment to myself. I was thinking, you know what, all this session stuff is really good, but I really want to get into the industry as well and just learn a bit more and just see different sides of it. So I typed out a long email about just getting experience from all the companies I tried to reach out to. So I sent about 30 plus emails to different companies. I'm not going to mention who, but it was a bit mad because no one got back to me.
Yeah.
It was mad. I was thinking, do you know what, it's cool. I'm still playing drums anyway. I'm doing whatever, touring and stuff. But 2 months later, the person that put on the actual Ultimate Seminar got back to me. Well, his wife did. She was like, oh, hey, Ed, yeah, I saw your email and you've got a great CV. And yeah, let's meet up and let's have a meeting. So went to the office and it pretty much just started from there. The guy that puts on the seminar, Kwame Kwanting, great mentor of mine, he was like, yeah, so you want to be a manager? And in my head, I was thinking, I don't know, you know. I'm what, like, because he's a proper serious guy. Yeah. He's a proper stern guy. So I don't know what waste his time because I sent an email out. His wife got back to me. So I was thinking, yeah, I do want to be a manager. Maybe like it might be for me, it might not be for me. But he was like, yeah, cool. It wasn't like, oh, you start tomorrow, but it was just more or less, yeah, let's keep in contact and I'll get back to you. So I was thinking, these people, maybe they might not get back to me, but the fact that they did, I think it took a week or two. Yeah, and then started doing an internship for Kwame at Ferocious Talent. And it pretty much started from there. And then he gave me my first band to look after. Was it tough? Yes. Yeah. It was very, very difficult because...
Again, thrown in at the deep end.
There you go.
Yeah.
As an intern... Yeah. What's that?
Who was the first band?
A band, innit? A three-piece band. A hip-hop band, innit? But yeah, they were quite of a challenge because being an intern... Imagine you're like, yo, do this, do that. They look at you like, okay, bro,
Who are you?
Come on, like, you just play drums. But they didn't really know that until I kind of got to know them a bit more, took me a bit more seriously because they didn't even know my age.
Right.
So as they got busier doing festival dates and doing their interviews, going to fashion shoots, going to magazine shoots, everything was just on point. Like getting them there on time, liaising with the people there, networking with them, getting them a few gigs as well. Not just their live agents. I was pretty much just networking with everyone we met there to get them more stuff. So it kind of felt like I was their manager at one point because Kwame's just super busy regardless. He's just got so much on his plate. But to have that trust that he's given me to go and look after one of their acts, it was pretty much eye-opening and very challenging, like I said at the start. So that happened. Yeah, I was just doing their day to day, man.
Yeah.
That's that's how much I can probably describe it.
Yeah.
Doing their day to day, acting as their manager, as their production manager, as their tour manager. So all of these stuff just kind of infused because I was dealing with live shows, sending out their tech specs and stuff. And as a musician, you kind of know that stuff already because you have to send your spec to whoever's dealing with that tour manager.
That's obviously coming from the other
it's
side.
just coming from the other side. So things just kind of infused together,
Right.
knowing what's going on and just being really productive. To a point, I took tour management seriously because now I'm working with another band, same management company as well, and I do their day to day. But rather than the management side of things, it's kind of leaned into the whole tour management thing.
Okay.
Taking them to, so many countries. We went to Morocco in March as well. I think that's like the biggest thing
Nice.
that I've done.
I went
with
to
them.
Morocco in March.
Yeah?
Funny enough, yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
walk past each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Real past that.
Yeah.
Who's this guy? No, like I think once I went away from Europe, because most of the dates were in Europe. When I went to Africa, so Morocco, I was like, yo, I want to take this seriously as well. I want to be a session musician. I want to be this person. I want to be that person. So, yeah, and that's just stemmed from an email, being invited down to knowing how it works in different departments in the industry. So I was like, yeah, I'm down to be open and see what works for me and just pretty much just utilize what I have.
That's amazing, man. And further than that, it stemmed from you attending the seminar.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And
Which you probably wouldn't have
and
done.
sending out an email to like those 30 plus
Yeah,
companies. I'm
exactly.
not going to mention their names, like I said, but
Yeah.
it's a shame that you didn't bring
But
me
you
on the
didn't
team
stop.
in it. No,
You
of
didn't
course
stop.
not. Of course not.
So was that like the 31st letter that you sent? No, because
I can't
it's
remember.
important for everyone to know, because literally everyone who's a success goes through that level of rejection at some point. Do you know what I mean? Like every author.
Don't get me wrong, it wasn't like just 30 plus and then I stopped. It was
No, of course.
literally
Probably more
just
than that.
looking online for emails, them secret hidden folders that might have like A&R's emails
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Everyone
Just hit them up.
hit them up.
Persistence,
Just, yeah. And even with the whole management thing, getting a day to day with this artist, I didn't take like 2 months. It took like a whole year before it was like proper, because I was still learning how to do like calendar
Yes.
stuff. And in my head, I was thinking, is this really for me? Because you fight so much to get a certain thing, and you finally get it, and it's like, I'm coming from a session world. Now I'm doing admin stuff. Is this what I want to get into? But it's got me into tour management, and that's something that I love to do as well, because it has a whole lab element with it as well. So yeah, you just never know until you just put your head down to
I
it and
think that's
just.
what it is with most things. It ends up finding you. So you start off thinking that this one thing that you really enjoy is where you're supposed to be. But I think with most people, you end up finding that where they started is never where they end up.
Yeah.
It opens up so many more doors for
It's
you.
true.
Yeah,
It's
you start
true.
to see different
It
things.
brings out skills within you that you probably didn't even know existed, because when you spoke about uni, you didn't sound like the most academic person because
Oh,
you weren't
trust
really
me,
that
I'm not.
interested.
I'm
But then
not.
you were thrown into, now you're doing the admin and you're doing project management essentially.
Spell checks, got to make sure that's
And
right.
you automatically, and then now you just fell right into that because behind it is something that you actually enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's an issue about whether we can do something. It's just whether we enjoy it or not. If you really enjoy what
That's the
you're
main
doing, you
thing.
would put the effort behind it. But
That's
if
the
you're
main
not
thing.
bothered about it, then it's
Don't get me wrong, there were
yeah.
like a few challenges. So once I am on social media and stuff like that, but I don't really post to a point. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. 'Cause I'm very like reserved. I don't really like showing my business too tough. But once my friends kind of noticed, oh, I'm like, bro, you still playing drums, or you just doing this like management stuff? That's when the challenge came in, because it's like the calls I'll get to play.
The perception.
Listen,
Oh, mate.
listen. It's like, nah, but Eddie don't play drums no more. I'm like, bro, I do. Like, is it what, church or like session stuff? I'm saying, look, both. So
But because they don't see it.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They're seeing
Mad.
more of the whole management thing, me going into meetings, me going into shoots with magazines. Like, right, like, swear down. That's what Eddie's doing, but you don't play drums no more. But trust me,
I think that really brings us nicely into the topic of the week, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the topic of the week is, does having a plan B mean that you've given up on plan A?
I hear you.
This
I
is
really hear
essentially
you.
what you're trying to get
I
across
know.
here.
I'm trying to. Yeah, it's a weird one, because. Can you say the question one more time? Just so I
Well,
can
this
answer
week's
it properly.
topic is, does having a plan B mean that you've given up on plan A?
Not necessarily. because whatever your plan A is, you don't know the destination towards that.
Mm-hmm.
So it can lead you to tour management, which I'm currently doing. It can lead you to songwriting. It can lead you to being an artist manager. It can lead you to just doing session musician stuff full time to a point. It might not be for you no more. So, no, I don't really agree with that. But I do agree with not putting your eggs in all in one basket. Because, yeah, man, you just don't know. You just don't know what you're capable of doing unless you're obviously getting put in a deep end. Plus, just being happy and enjoying what you're doing, because you can get that vibe from anything.
That's the thing. That's the thing, and that's what I was going to pick up on and say. Like, I've known people that just wanted to be an actor. Like, I want to be an actor. I want to win an Oscar. I want to be on red carpets, etc., etc. And what you might find is that you like performing. You don't necessarily like acting. So you might be a great public speaker, for example. Do you know what I mean? You might be a great politician. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's all of these skills are transferable into different areas, and it's not until you try different things that you can see, oh wait, this lights me up in the same way I imagined acting would light me up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's about experimenting just on different things and seeing what you like. And like you said, ultimately it's about, am I happy doing this? Do I enjoy doing this? Is it bringing me joy doing this? Do you know what I'm saying? And ultimately that's what it's about. So I don't think having a plan B kind of nullifies plan A.
Yeah, and I had a conversation with another mentor of mine called Donovan Hepburn. He's a drummer and MD for Gary Barlow. So he's on a big gig. And he does the whole drumming thing, the MD and stuff, putting bands together for different artists, and just working with labels as well. So I asked him, look, I'm doing management, I'm doing tour management, I'm a session musician. Is it okay to do that? He's like, of course. What are you talking about? Like, I'm in the best position. The people are in like literally everything. I'm not saying I'm in everything, but certain aspects of that industry, whereas you thought, oh, maybe I can't touch that because all I just do is play keys.
Yes.
The people that are literally in it doing certain things are in a good position, because now you can provide opportunities for upcoming artists, upcoming musicians, upcoming tour managers, whoever, because you're in that in that source.
Yeah.
That's what I'll call it. You're in that source, and not many people can get there. So
That's true. And also those up and comers, or just anyone, they can't put the wool over your eyes, because no, I've already done that. I've already done that, actually. So no, I know how it works. Do you know what I mean? I might not be an expert in that area, but I've done it enough. Do you know what I'm saying? So it helps you also communicate.
it really does.
Because the creative industries are highly pressurized. So when it comes down to deadlines and stuff, communication is key. And if you're in a position where you've done A, B, C, and D in this, you can really communicate to those people to get things done. And that's the goal, isn't it?
But I want to be the devil's advocate.
Go on.
I want to bring the other side of it. Because obviously I can agree with it as well.
Yeah.
I totally believe that, you should be able to multitask and be multifaceted as an individual, because again, it exposes you to so many different things. But on the other side, it's like, if you have a plan A, so say for example your plan A is to be an actor or an actress, but then you're not fully devoting yourself to that, because then it stems back to when we were giving advice to Darnell. We said to him, if you want to be a filmmaker, to focus on that, because sometimes if you have your eggs in too many baskets, then that actually means that you can never be like this. The whole saying of being a jack of all trades and being a master of none.
But
so how do you balance that out? Because
the
for
way
example,
go on.
do you give up? Because obviously now that you've got into tour management and everything, when we asked you initially, what is it that you want to do? Or when you were asked to define yourself as in who you are as an individual, you said that you wanted to be a drummer. So, or bass, is it bass player?
I didn't say bassist, but
you
I know what you meant.
Said if I was to describe myself, I would describe myself as a drummer, because 100%. That's where it all started.
Yeah, 100.
But then now,
you said something key there. And that's where it's all started. And I think you can do multiple things.
Yeah.
But you see, like with Darnell, for example, where he's starting out, it's smart to establish yourself in one thing and then start experimenting
So
in
is
different
that
areas.
the
So it's
key
more like
to establish yourself?
I think it's about multitasking, but one thing at a time kind of thing. It's like, all right, I can sing now. All right, let me sing and produce. All right, I can sing and produce now. All right, let me sing and produce and write. Do you know what I'm saying? Rather than starting out from nothing, be like, all right, I'm going to sing, produce, and write. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I get the vibe what you're saying, because I think I didn't finish what I was saying before, but when my friends are like, yo, bro, so what you doing? You're doing the management stuff now. And I didn't have to explain myself. I just kept on doing what I was doing. One minute they'll see me on the drums again. One minute they'll see me on tour, supporting a band, doing tour management work. So, like I said, I don't post as much, but then they know. And whoever sees will know, okay, he's just more than a drummer. One minute he's in a session, he's in whatever. And even the other day, I was playing drums at a festival. So I'm still doing it regardless. And they put that picture together in their head, okay, do you know what? I need a tour manager. Let me call Eddie. Or, do you know what? I need a session musician. Let me call Eddie. Or I need someone that can consult this artist. Or let me call Eddie. And that's how it kind of just works out. And it's been happening a lot. It's been happening a lot quite recently.
So many strings to your bow that is essentially 4 or 5 different revenue streams.
Pretty much.
Rather than just having one.
yeah, and it makes sense on a business level to do that. And it's not like, for example, we're saying multitasking, but it's not like you're playing football and you're a tour manager and you're a rock climber and an astronaut.
And
Do
a
you know what I
basketball
mean?
at the same time.
You're kind of, but you're multi.
Yeah.
You have many strings of your bow within this realm. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it makes sense to
I think
diversify.
it makes sense if they're complementary.
Yes.
Rather than if it's things that are just totally unrelated.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't
I'm not trying to be that
complement each other
person.
in
So
any way,
don't get me wrong.
shape or form.
At first, like I said, it was tough because one minute it might be like a quiet time. There's no gigs, there's no festivals, and you're doing nothing. So session work might not come to you, but tour management stuff might come more. So it paints that picture to certain people. Okay, maybe he's not drumming no more. But then as time goes, slowly it just infuses with each other and like, yo, okay, I can see he's doing quite a lot of things. So yeah, it makes sense. But then it's always best to communicate as well and talk to those people that are kind of confused. Sometimes my friends might reach out to me like, yo, bro, like, what are you doing? And it's just a simple conversation. Like, this is what I'm doing, and they understand.
Right.
But what about the argument that if you were to focus on one thing that you may truly excel? So because you've got so many other things going on. So say, for example, have you ever been in a situation where a drumming opportunity came along that was major, but because you were doing the tour management side of things, you missed out on an opportunity when that could have been something that potentially took your drumming to the next level?
Great question. But that's when I think you mentioned something, how you establish one thing first and then you move on to the next, For me right now, it's just building a company, whereas, okay, I can't make this tour management gig, but a company can take over it. Then I can pursue the whole drumming thing if it's a big opportunity, or provide that opportunity for someone else that's probably younger than me that wants to kind of break out as well and be well known as a drummer. So, like I said, I'm in that position to do so. Yeah. I might not be as big as certain other companies. Doesn't matter. I'm doing my own thing. So that's how I look at it. Rather than, oh, you know, it's about me. I need to get my name there as this drummer. I need to get my name there as this tour manager. Rather provide if needed. Obviously, it's a big gig. Obviously, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm joking, but you know what I mean, though.
I know what you mean, but also your priorities change.
Yeah,
Once
priorities
you start
change.
to do different things, you see your goals do change a bit, and you
it
start to see
does.
more value in providing someone else the opportunity.
Because I didn't have that. I know there's certain
Right.
people out there. They might have uncles. They might have family. They might have just good friends. Even an older brother that does the same thing that they do. I'm not saying I'm coming from nothing. I've got good friends around me, but the opportunity for where I've come from is tight. So you got to make it for yourself, rather than the whole hand-me-downs kind of thing. I didn't really have that, so that's why I'm just so hungry for it. And I can understand someone else having that hunger as well, coming from nothing. So yeah, that's the vibe with me, man.
Love that. Cool. That was a good topic.
It was a good topic, actually.
I like that. I hope you
Ran
will
out
get
of
a
water
lot
as
from
well,
that.
but it's cool. My mouth is dry.
It's fine.
It's all good. Well, we're gonna
That's how it
be
goes.
wrapping up this episode. What we got going on next week? We've got another episode. Well, another couple episodes for you, as usual. But guys, we want to hear from you. Let us know well, we're on episode 16, so it'll be good to, hear what you guys' thoughts are so far.
Also, to find out if you're enjoying the topics as well, because I feel like we've tried to give you a diverse mix of topics. We tend to try and make the topic relevant to the individual who we're spotlighting, so that, it's more conversational and we get more out of it. But if you have any topics that you'd like to suggest, or if there's any questions that you have, obviously we have access to so many different individuals. We may be able to slide into your DMs and respond to your questions. So
yeah, exactly.
If you have anything like that and you feel like, if, say, one of the main interviews touched on a topic that you'd like them to elaborate on, then let us know.
Yeah, we'd love to do some Q&As.
Definitely. Yeah, but again, thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
Wow.
It's like my first ever time coming up and then opening up to people.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Oh, you're a
100.
natural, man.
Do you know what? It was good.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like the platform that you guys are doing just to hear from the unsung. So
That's it. Giving a voice to the voiceless.
That's it, man. That's it. No, I learned a lot even from you. Like, it's great reminders, man. Like, obviously, I didn't know a lot
about myself.
Yeah. Before coming in. So I feel like now I know you. So
and I've learned things about you that I didn't even know. We haven't known each other for a long time.
True.
But I think just before we wrap up, we usually ask our guests a question as well. What would you tell your 10-year-old self, knowing what you know now, and after all the experiences that you've had to date?
I would say write out your dreams and just read it every day. I know that sounds a bit mad, but we don't know what we want to be until we go through certain experiences and stuff like that. But then to have just something you can read and believe in yourself every day is always good. I mean, let me start this today rather than wait tomorrow. Let me start this thing. I know you're 10 years old. It's a bit mad. So that I want to play football or something like that. But then it's having the mindset of you can achieve it.
yeah,
That's the main thing. And I felt like, obviously, friends and family are there to kind of support you and say, yeah, don't worry, you'll be fine with certain things. But only you know what you're capable of. So to see it every day and read it and knowing, oh yeah, I'm going to achieve this regardless. Yeah, that's the vibe.
love that.
Yeah. I
Love
think that's
that.
just something that it kind of resonates with everyone. And it's through life experience that you gain that understanding. Like, you have to believe in you before
Anyone else can. Absolutely. And you got to keep that close to your heart. Definitely. Starting at 10 years old is a good idea. Get that into, get that
10 years old
practice.
really is it's a bit young.
No,
but,
no,
you
I
know,
think that's really good.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Something
yeah.
they should teach in school.
Absolutely. Well, the school for the creators. Well, thank you so much for coming
Thanks for
on, man.
having me.
It's been really cool. Guys, remember to follow us on @For the Creators Podcast and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and share with some people you know, please.
Yeah, and also, if you're enjoying the conversation so far, just click on the subscribe button. That means that all of the episodes will be downloaded automatically for you, and it means that you get to stay up to date with everything that we're doing and all the different people that we have on. But thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure.
And then we look forward to seeing you all. Well, we're not going to see you, but you're going to hear us next Monday. And, every Monday and Wednesday we go out. So, yeah, thank you very much for listening today. If you got all the way to this point, then that must mean you are a true fan.
Yes.
But
And we love you.
we love you. Take care, guys, and
Cool.
thank you.
Lovely. Cheers.
Bye.